Right as the blizzard starts. Right as the blizzard starts. Thank you, Pleasant Valley. Thank you. Thank you. However, we'll eat us a celebratory bear steak. At least what's left of these two little pieces. And a little bit of water. And we can put this on. Boom. Okay, so we need to go ahead and get rid of the cabin fever, or at least we need to get rid of the noise that is the crap behind us. Are you serious right now? Oh, love it. Love this one. Okay, so we get to do the cabin fever thing. You cannot sleep indoors for 24 hours. Spend some time outdoors to recover, which means you can't pass time because we can't pass time due to cabin fever. That's perfectly fine. You know what? Let's not. Let's just do this the easy way. I was going to say, I was going to head for the cave. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do simply the easiest thing we can do at this point, which is I'm going to go back into this little barn right here, and we're going to make a reasonable fire. Where it can't get blown out, which I think is either that corner or that corner. And it's not going to work, but we can do that one. Just start it. Just get it over with. I don't even care. Don't care if we're using our thing or not.
One little fire.
And every stick we have, and all of the coal that we have, it's 11 hours. Drink some water. And sleep for 10 hours. Wow, that should not have gone that direction. How in the world? Huh. Really? I've never had them get blown out in here. Okay, well, whatever. Drink some water. Oh, love it. How are we doing on this? We have cabin fever. I need 8 more hours.
Wait. This is cold and
well, let's see if we can't find a little bit more wood.
Damn. I'm freezing.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me now. You've got to be kidding me now. You know, I said all that wonderful, cool stuff about this and that and everything else and the other. I utterly hate Pleasant Valley. Well, this is not exactly how I planned on spending this episode, but I guess we're going to make it work with what we've got. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman, and welcome back to the Long Dark and our Interloper run, or at least what we're going to consider our Interloper run at this point, considering the fact that we kind of lost a little bit of footage last time around. So I do apologize for that in advance, and we're making this episode today to try to recover a little bit from that episode. What happened basically, for whatever reason, is my encoding software and my editing and encoding software decided that it didn't want to upload correctly to YouTube the entirety of the video before it decided to do whatever it did. This is the first time I've had this happen. I don't know what happened. So it is what it is, and we're going to make do with it. I do not have the original footage anymore. I do not have the ability to produce the video that I was going to produce prior. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play around a little bit. We're going to kind of, I don't know, just do something a little bit similar but not the same. So I do want to say that this, like I said, these videos that I tend to record are usually going to be weeks in advance. So episode 50 was recorded in the end of September, and we're now pretty much midway through October, so I can't go back and do the thing. And our current Astrid in our run is completely out of this zone at this point, so we can't go grab her back. So I decided for the funsies of it, and because she's sitting here, you guys get to play today with my 500-day loper. This is my long run. This is the one that I've had for quite a long time. She and I have been together for well over a year at this point, year and a half, I think, actually. And she's pretty tough. She's tougher than our other Astrid. She's gone through quite a bit of stuff. She's done quite a bit of things and stuff and all those wonderful deals. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of try to recreate what we were doing at the end of the last episode at the beginning of the next. So essentially what we have a problem with at this point is we have to consider the fact that that Astrid had at least 12 hours, should say about 8 hours, I think it was 8 hours of cabin fever and a full-on 24 hours of hypothermia. So the cabin fever was causing a major problem, mainly because of the fact that we couldn't pass any time. But there are ways around passing time again, like we did in the last episode. You can craft things, you can do stuff, you can... Where are we at as far as that is concerned? You can make a bunch of stuff, and what I want to do at this point right now is I want to cook a few more teas, because we're going to need a couple of more teas. Plus, there's no reason to be carrying them around at this point. So let's pick that up. And how much water do we currently have at this point? You've got lots of water. And we can put all that water down over here for right now. So what we're going to discuss mainly is the cabin fever is an easy thing to get rid of. You just need to spend time outside. The problem was at the point that we got the cabin fever, we also had hypothermia. And the hypothermia means that we have to... Which one is the one I want? Is it this one? Yeah, it's the one I want. The hypothermia means, for that matter, that we have to stay warm and... and stay above freezing for the entirety of that time. For 24 hours, you have to stay above freezing. So part of the reason why what we're doing right here is we're going to attempt to show at least what went on, and then we're going to move on from that point. I'm going to make sure these are still hot. They say they're hot, but they're not. And we're going to act like we were where we were, which I believe I had about 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of this stuff maybe. I had 1 coal. Let's see. Drop all the firewood that we don't need. I think I may have had 1 of those. Actually, no, I think that's about all we had. And then we ran as quickly as we could to the other zone. So I'm going to pop 1 of those real quick, so that we can get that warm-up bonus. And we're going to go to the nearest place that I can go in order to be able to get rid of the cabin fever, but also stay warm. Of course, it's nice outside today, so whatever. It was about like this anyway. It was just barely snowing, so we're going to hope for Pleasant Valley to do Pleasant Valley things like it always does. But we pretty much headed out the door this direction. So we're going to go over here and again pretend like we're currently trying not to freeze to death, but also try to spend as much time outside as we can. So the nearest place to do it outside of building a snow shelter over in this general area is there is a cave over here at the base of the mountain behind Signal Hill. So we're going to head for that cave. And again, I don't remember in this person, but I believe we didn't get the bear over here. So we're pretty much similar to the other run at this point. This is exactly what I did. I ran out here as fast as I could. We were slowly but surely losing our eyeball due to the hypothermia. Hypothermia causes your stamina to drop drastically, even faster than it normally would. So we made a whole bunch of coffees, and we drank up quite a few of those coffees. It's not all that cold in here today, is it? Wonderful. But we ran over here as quickly as we could, and I grabbed a couple of sticks, And I just want to make sure I get over here that if the bear is here, we do take care of him. It looks like it might snow today too. Wonderful. I have to remember whether or not the bear is here, and I can't remember at this point. I don't think he is. Okay, cool. So essentially that's what we did, was we ran over here chugging teas and coffees the whole way to get to this point over in this cave. So, hey, I've been here before. Nice, wonderful. And we kind of pretty much got to the point where we got up here on this little bitty rock ledge right outside of here. And I laid down a bedroll so that we could spend some time up here. And the only reason why I did it up here was because of the fact that in case the bear was here, that he wasn't going to eat us. And then we put this down about right here. And I started a fire. And then we got to talking about various things. So we'll get the fire going. And I did this and said, that was probably a waste of my time. Should not have done that. But we'll go ahead and make a little bit of water, because I don't think I brought any with us anyway, so that's fine. And we'll add a few pieces of fuel. And sit down. And make water. I need her to get tired. We'll make a little bit more water. Why not? We're not out anything. And then we kind of sat here and said, okay, well, now we can do a few things. So what I'm going to do is I have an hour and 40 minutes, 41 minutes. We can take a 2-hour nap. So we'll go ahead and just sleep for 2 hours. And see if Pleasant Valley does the Pleasant Valley thing it always does. Exactly what I thought it was going to do. Beautiful. And the point is, at this point, we're sitting in the back of the cave with no firewood. We had 0 fire at that point. Everything was gone, and a blizzard picks up. But at least at this point, after that little bit of time, we managed to get rid of the cabin fever completely, and we now have a cabin fever risk right here, along with a good 13 hours, I believe, of of hypothermia, which is causing our eyeball over here to unwind rather quickly. So what we're going to do after this is, again, we're going to pray, like I did the last time, that Pleasant Valley doesn't get too terribly cold. So when you're in a spot in this situation, especially in Pleasant Valley, or especially in some of the other things, if you're trying to stay warm regardless, you want to stay in the back of the cave as far back as you can. And I know it's pretty dark right now, but we're going to do it anyway. And you want to be very careful. So we're going to sleep for a couple hours. I mean, normally you can sleep to about right here before it really gets cold. And in this instance, this Astrid has actually got an extra couple of, or degree a little bit more. So we'll take that off just so that we're equal. She's wearing the exact same gear, the exact same stuff. She has the same materials. Some of this stuff is probably in a little bit worse shape, mainly because I don't repair it with this one. But we're going to go ahead and sleep for about as long as it'll let us at this point. So drink all your water. And I guess we'll have a couple of cattails since I didn't bring any bear meat with us. And see what happens. We're going to end up having to pass time through this little blizzard, but it's standard Blizzard Valley. How cold are we? Oh, we're getting there. It may get down cold enough. This is the point you have to worry about, is even in the back of a cave in Pleasant Valley, it's possible to get really cold. So let's see about passing the time and getting rid of at least, well, about to right here, and see how cold it gets. See this? We're in the back of the cave. This is the warmest part of the cave. Now, if we pass time and sleep in our bedroll, we'll be okay. So let's sleep. Okay. We're all right at this point. So we'll just go ahead and pass a little bit more time to get the sun up and play like we're actually at the point where we're about done with it. Oop, don't do that.
I've never been so hungry in my life.
Yeah, I know. You say that all the time. We'll have a tea, and we'll have a discussion of about how stupid we were with that little problem that we did. So the basis thing of the whole problem, what we did, what was wrong, what I did wrong when I was playing that character, when we were playing through that mess, when we built our moose coat and when we built our bear coat, was the fact that the first start, the biggest problem was I said in Timberwolf Mountain, you could craft outside using that work table if you wanted to. And we didn't. We stayed inside the entire time, which means, and then this is the entirety of the thing, when you look at the amount of time it takes to craft certain things, like a bearskin coat. A bearskin coat with the current knife we have is 40 hours of time. And if you're crafting indoors with no light, especially, that means you only get about 12 hours or 8 hours or whatever it is a day to do the work. If you look at this one here, the moose hide cloak, again, we're 21 hours. So we spent almost 60 hours straight indoors. That is the thing that they were trying to prevent with cabin fever. So what we should have done prior to building the bear coat was I should have spent at least a day, a serious day outside or more inside one of these caves prior to crafting that coat. Or maybe we should have crafted a little bit more outside, or maybe what we should have done is we should have went and got our coat and then went somewhere or got the bear skin and gone somewhere else. So the next thing I want to talk about is if you're going to build a fire outside, and you're going to build a fire outside in a barn like we did, that barn apparently now is no longer okay to be done like that anymore. You cannot do that in there. But if you're going to sleep outside and you put a fire down, do not sleep for anything longer than a couple of hours, because a couple of hours is not going to get you too much hypothermia risk here. But what it will get you is the time to be able to actually, man, it's cold out there today. What it will get you is the time to make a decision of whether or not you need to move to a warmer location or a different location or a safer location, because of the fact that you'll be able to wake up before the hypothermia hits you. So when I stated it was possible that we should have lost the run at that point, we probably were really, really, really close. Had I had that... The new sounds are bugging me still. I'm not quite so certain. Had that been any colder, if that had been any colder of a blizzard, we likely would have been a lot worse off than we were. So let's go ahead and pick up a torch, or not a torch, but let's go pick up a bow that we have. And we're going to walk ourselves back over to the farmhouse after curing our poor Astrid of all of her conditions. She's a crazy fool, and she now can live on in her life. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to kind of just head back over to the house. We're going to pick up a couple of things, and I'm going to tie you guys up into the next section of where we're going to go, because of the fact that we need to go to a different location because she's no longer here. But we'll walk through. Boy, look at that pretty purple. Isn't that nice? Pretty, pretty purple. I love it. It's a nice sunshiny day. Well, it will be eventually, probably.
Sure getting cold.
It's freaking cold in Pleasant Valley today. One of the reasons, like I said, I just hate this zone. It's amazing. It's utterly amazing at how bad they made this area. No bear?
It's a goddamn freezing.
Oh, you'll be fine, honey. We're okay. I'm actually cheating it because of that right now. But we'll get back over here to the farmhouse. We're going to pick up a couple of things, and we're going to move on to the next location. Yeah, I know. You're hungry. It's fine. We're going to eat something in a second. Just making sure the bear or a wolf doesn't creep up on us and scare us half to death. Yeah, I think the only thing that's really bugging me about this whole mess is the fact that I can't actually recreate the actual irritation and the pain and the fear that was in my entire voice the whole time because of the fact that she was pretty close to dying at that point. She was really, really, really close to dying, and we could have been a lot worse off than we were. So we're going to go ahead and eat up and fill her belly up full of bear meat. And then we're going to take a few things and go to the barn. So let's go ahead and drop this off. Boop, boop. I don't need that for right now. And we're going to go inside. We're going to warm her back up. We're going to pick up a few things. Because essentially at this point, we had nothing. So I'm going to be leaving everything alone here. The only difference, I think, in our inventories, generally speaking, was the fact that this one has a second pair of the underwears and a couple of other things. I think everything else is pretty much the same. We did have a couple of more things made. I actually need to make another bandage. And I think we were leaving out of here without any torches at all. So no torches. We'll just drop them all right here. And a couple of sticks, I think, was pretty much all she had at this point. So we'll make sure she has plenty of water. And we're going to warm her up a little bit. Just so that we get that over with. Did that go away? Okay, cool. And yep, we got plenty of water. We got all the things that we need. And yeah, goodbye, 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 farmhouse. We're leaving. We're heading to the next location. And in reality, I think I'm probably going to take this character actually on over to coastal as it is, because I do want to have her in a little bit more nicer spot than this zone. But we're going to walk to the barn. The bear's over there somewhere, isn't he? Yep. You just keep walking, Home Slice. I don't need to bother you. You don't need to bother me. We don't need to worry about it. Just because the bear's over there doesn't mean you need to come bother me. Not this character. She'll easily take you down, but we don't need to worry about this. Just going to walk ourselves slowly up the hill. And we should be okay. Go. Alrighty then. Let's see what we get. Alright, we'll just take a walk on over to the hill over here and check things out and head to the barn. Still really cold out. Of course, it's first thing in the morning, and they always tell you don't travel first thing in the morning, especially on a character this old. But that's fine. We'll be okay.
My fingers feel numb.
She's been through a lot worse. I'm still not quite so certain I like that sound now. It's a lot more accurate to what it should be, but I don't know.
Wait, I'm so cold. I'm warming up a bit.
Oh, you'll be fine, my dear. Although I think we may have a storm brewing. Looking at how fast the clouds are moving. And it's eerily quiet out here. Yep. See the wind turned around and now the stuff's moving the other direction. Where are all the wolves? This is a little concerning to me. Where are they? Okay, well, whatever. Nobody's here to bother us. I guess that one wolf at the farmhouse is all we're going to get today. That's wonderful. I love that. Put this away. We don't need it anymore. We're good to go. We're in the barn. The barn is going to be our next location for where we're going to stay. And I think for right now, again, I said, guys, I do apologize for the the goofiness that has happened and the other stuff that we're going to have to deal with going on forward. But at least at this point, we're caught up with where she was. And I think I managed to have a little bit of food here. We may be walking back, but who knows? We'll see. Anyhow, for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for bearing with me while we deal with this slight problem. So she did manage to make it back this far, and she did manage to make it on through the rest of the deal. And unfortunately, I'm the only one that gets to see that footage. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.